Toni Basil didn't just follow the rhythm. She changed it. She didn't invent a single step, but an entire style. Long before Mickey turned into a global anthem, she had already reshaped the boundaries of street dance, merging the raw pulse of the streets with the precision of choreography to create something entirely new. But her story is as much about art as it is about survival. A life built on movement, defiance, and an unrelenting fight for recognition in an industry that kept trying to erase her. Toni Basil was born on September 22, 1943 in Philadelphia, not in a hospital but backstage during a matinee show. Her mother, Irene, a vaudeville acrobat, went into labor mid-performance, and the show had to stop. Her father, Michael, a bandleader, was playing in Atlantic City when he got the telegram and hitchhiked home, abandoning his orchestra mid-song. The family name was originally Basila, but Ellis Island shortened it, along with their chances of stability. Irene came from a line of performers who swung from ropes and juggled for coins. Her family's connection to Chicago's underworld was whispered about but never confirmed. Toni's life began to the sound of a pipe organ and applause, and from that moment, the stage became her home. Her mother's final aerial performance before Toni's birth was dangerous and desperate. 8 months pregnant and in pain, Irene performed a 25-foot somersault while high on black market amphetamines, catching a sandbag midair that left her bleeding through her costume. 6 weeks later, Toni was born early. That moment, risking life for applause, became the blueprint of Toni's existence. Between 1948 and 1953, the Basil family lived backstage in theaters from Detroit to Cleveland, sleeping in converted dressing rooms and eating leftover popcorn. Toni changed schools 23 times in 5 years. She learned to fix costumes, dodge spotlights, and fake confidence before she could read fluently. When money ran out, her mother sent her to sell candy in theater lobbies, technically illegal but necessary. At 6, Toni danced for guests at the Palmer House Hotel, earning $23 in bloody blisters. Her parents called it volunteering, but theater managers knew they were exploiting a child performer, and used that to underpay the family for years. During a rehearsal in 1951, Irene froze mid-act, forgetting her steps. 7-year-old Toni ran on stage, filled the silence with a tap routine she'd memorized in secret, and brought the house to its feet. A booking agent offered her a $75 a week contract on the spot. Irene slapped her for stealing the spotlight. From that moment, the power in their family shifted. Toni became the breadwinner. Her mother became resentful. Her father started treating her less like a daughter and more like an investment. By 1950, the family settled in Las Vegas, where Michael played in an orchestra at the Sahara Hotel. Toni spent her childhood between school and smoky casino lounges, practicing splits between slot machines while cocktail waitresses stepped over her. She saw violence, gambling, and addiction up close and learned early that security was an illusion. When her father lost thousands to gambling, Toni began saving coins in a coffee can to pay for her own dance lessons. She decided money meant freedom, and she'd never depend on anyone else again. After graduating high school in 1961, she rejected a scholarship to UNLV and took $400 in savings to Los Angeles. She slept on floors, auditioned endlessly, and caught her first break dancing opposite Frank Sinatra in a Rat Pack film, though uncredited. Sinatra's unwanted advances and the silence of crew members taught her the price of staying professional. Soon she appeared on the TV show Shindig, and in Viva Las Vegas with Elvis Presley, surviving an industry that often confused professionalism with submission. Her reputation grew fast. She danced in cult classics like Village of the Giants and Head, choreographed American Graffiti, and earned respect from icons like David Bowie, whose Diamond Dogs tour she helped shape. But fame didn't protect her from exploitation. Directors sexualized her choreography, producers crossed lines, and when she spoke up, she was labeled difficult. Everything changed in 1971 when she met Don Campbell, the creator of the locking dance style. Together they formed the Lockers, a groundbreaking street dance crew that fused funk, precision, and theatricality. As the only woman and the group's co-leader, Basil faced resistance from the men, but she stood her ground. She managed the business, protected the younger dancers, and even risked her life during violent gigs in Compton where bottles were thrown at her. When television networks wanted them to tone it down, she refused, losing lucrative deals but gaining underground respect. Her insistence on authenticity helped elevate street dance from party floors to stages worldwide. Despite her influence, Basil's name was often erased from the story of the Lockers. When hip-hop history was written, she was rarely mentioned. That silence haunted her more than any lost paycheck. By 1981, she had choreographed for film legends and major tours. Yet when a small label offered her a $10,000 advance for her album Word of Mouth, she accepted. One track, Mickey, would make pop culture history. Originally a 1979 British pop song called Kitty, Basil transformed it, flipping the gender, rewriting the cheer chant from her own high school days, and building a new arrangement. But the songwriters refused to credit her. That decision cost her millions over the decades. When Basil directed the Mickey music video in 1982, she was 38, wearing her real high school cheer uniform. Executives said she was too old, but she ignored them. MTV had just launched and the video exploded. The song hit #1 and became an anthem across generations. Yet her label folded soon after, leaving her unpaid and drowning in debt. Within a year, she was selling jewelry and taking bargain choreography jobs just to survive. For decades, Mickey was everywhere. Stadiums, commercials, nostalgia playlists, but Basil earned almost nothing. In 2022, court records revealed she had received less than $3,000 in royalties since 1982, while offshore companies traded her song rights like poker chips between Panama and the Isle of Man. She had created an empire and been left out of its profits. Still, she kept moving. In the 1990s, she choreographed for films and music videos, including the now iconic Bend and Snap, seen in Legally Blonde, created in just one afternoon. She taught movement to Reese Witherspoon, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Margot Robbie, lending authenticity to Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood through her real-life memories of 1960s dance culture. Tarantino called her the goddess of go-go. Her personal life mirrored her career, intense, creative, and often lonely. She lived for years with actor Dean Stockwell during the Topanga Canyon art scene, surrounded by counterculture legends. Later relationships with musicians like Gerald Casale of Devo and collaborations with David Byrne ended in creative betrayal. She never married, calling her career her jealous lover. In 2017, she sued Disney, Viacom, and others for unauthorized uses of Mickey, including a parody on South Park.